And we're back for our daily NBA predictions and best bets here for the NBA postseason. 2 Game 4s today in Denver, Colorado, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Nuggets up 2-1 against the OKC Thunder, and the Indiana Pacers up 2-1 against the Cleveland Cavaliers. So both home teams up 2-1 in these series, as of course, both these series will have to go back to OKC and Cleveland for game number 5 on Wednesday, but for now, again, these games, game number 4s here tonight, or on Tuesday, actually, the series return back to OKC and Cleveland. Anyways, folks, before we get into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily NBA predictions here on the channel. Tomorrow, game 4s in New York and in San Francisco between the Celtics and the Knicks, and the Timberwolves and the Warriors. And earlier today here on the channel, we posted our MLB best bets. Make sure to go check out that video. That is linked in the description down below. Make sure to join us for that. And also later today on Greedo Plays MMA, our UFC Fight Night Burns versus Morales. Full card predictions around 5 p.m. Pacific today. Link in the description down below to Greedo Plays MMA. Go subscribe over there. We are getting closer to 1,000 subscribers. Go help us out. Okay, on to the first of our 2 games today. We kick things off with the matinee game here in Denver, Colorado. Nuggets, Thunder. I'm going with the Thunder again. I think this is going to be like game 2, if I'm being honest. I think the Thunder kind of just take over this game early, and they kind of prove, okay, yeah, this is still the best team in the NBA. Game 3 is weird. Some of these Thunder games, man, I don't know. Because they'll have games like game 2 where they look like the best team in the NBA. They look like the best team right now that we've seen in the last 5 years, I'm going to be honest. And they're going to have games like game 3 where they're in control for the most part. I know, again, the game was close, right? The Nuggets are just hanging around. But honestly, I always thought I was watching that game like, all right, OKC's fine. Yeah, again, the Nuggets will make their push. The Nuggets will take the lead briefly. But OKC, again, is usually ahead in that game. Aaron Gordon hits another 3-pointer. Changes everything. Overtime happens while the Thunder can't score. Shea touched the ball like twice in overtime. He didn't take a shot in OT. Why? He's the best player in the league. And it was a really bad Shea night, I'm not going to lie. Probably the 3rd time this postseason Shea has had a bad postseason game. 45 minutes, 7 for 22 from the field, 1 for 6 from the 3-point line. Couldn't get to the free throw line, only went 2 for 2 there. 3 for 5 there. Somehow had 13 boards, which has to be a postseason high for him, I believe. 7 assists, great, and 18 points. For every other player, 18, 13, and 7 actually doesn't look that bad. It's like the stat line Jokic had in game number 2 for Denver. Obviously, Jokic in game 3, 20, 16, and 6. I mean, again, that's a Jokic-type line. I'm going to argue one more time, though. I think the Nuggets starting lineup is actually better than OKC's as a whole, like all around. I think 1 through 5 it's better. J-Dub had a good game 3, and thankfully that's something that's a great sign for the Thunder. They need J-Dub to be good because, again, for whatever you want to say about J-Dub, about, you know, again, is the guy truly elite, I guess I can say? Is he really an all-star in this league? Is he just there because, or is he only seeing that much success because SGA is the best player in the Thunder? Regardless of what you think, the Thunder need J-Dub to be great in this series. They need him to be great in the rest of the postseason. I still believe if the Thunder get past the Nuggets, they're winning the entire thing. I think that's going to be the case. I think this is their last toughest test, I'm going to be honest. I know how good Minnesota is at times, but does anybody really believe that the Timberwolves or the Warriors, likely the Timberwolves, are going to the NBA Finals? I feel like this is really the Western Conference Finals, if I'm being honest. And yes, for as bad as the Nuggets have been throughout the year, their struggles defensively, well, look how they played in overtime against OKC. 5 minutes and the Thunder couldn't score, right? They couldn't get anything. They turned the ball over a million times. Hartenstein could not find the rim on his damn floater, which he usually is great at, by the way. Hartenstein has a perfect touch with that floater. Tried it 3 times in OT. Couldn't find the bottom of the net either time. The 2 points the Thunder scored, what it was a dunk by, was it Hartenstein who dunked it, I believe? Or it was Chet? It was a Chet dunk. And don't get me started on Chet Holmgren. Guys, Chet Holmgren doesn't do anything defensively for the Thunder. He grabs boards, sure, I'll give him that. But he can't guard Jokic because that's Hartenstein's assignment. So Chet sits in the corner. Okay, he can't shoot the ball anymore. I know he hasn't been the best shooter in the regular season, but 1 for 6 from the 3-point line's atrocious. Lou Dort, the Nuggets are begging you to shoot the ball. They are begging you, and you can't hit a 3. 0 for 4 from the 3-point line. That's why Caruso is going to get more minutes, more and more minutes, I think, down the stretch in games. He's defensively, Caruso, again, not as big as Lou Dort, but he brings a presence on defense, and sometimes his 3 ball is better than Dort's. But going back to my case, I think the Nuggets have a better starting lineup than the Thunder. I think what pushes the Thunder over the top in games that they win is when Shea gets going, okay, crap, all the attention goes to this guy, and then everyone else heats up around him, right? It's kind of just like this, I hate to say this, but it is like the AAU mindset for OKC, right? They glaze Shea in the locker room. I'm sure, again, that's a joke amongst those guys, but at the same time, I mean, this guy is just so much better than everyone else on the court, right? Like, these guys kind of do believe in that, and when Shea's on, then okay, everyone else gets hot around him, right? But I look at this Denver starting lineup, and sure, again, they're playing a 7-man rotation. They're playing the starters, obviously. Murray, Braun, Jokic, MPJ, Gordon, and then Russ and Peyton Watson off the bench. But I will argue, again, that starting lineup for Denver is better than OKC's. Defensively, hell no, they're not. But OKC has struggled in spots to score this postseason or this playoffs, especially down the stretch where the fourth quarter has not been their friend, or I guess overtime and the fourth quarter have not been their friend. And Denver's been able to shoot the ball. I mean, again, guys, Jokic was actually in a bad game 3. I'll be honest. I mean, I said it was just a Jokic night. Well, if the Nuggets lost game 3, I don't know how much negative media attention Jokic gets because he just doesn't get it in general. Because, oh, he dresses up as the Joker before the game. Oh, his suit's the Joker colors. Who cares? So I think, again, the media will probably bury and they have buried the 0 for 10 shooting night from the 3-point line, but that's exactly what Jokic had. 8 for 25 from the field, 0 for 10 from the 3-point line. You want to talk about Shea being bad? Look at Jokic, right? And I'm sure a lot will be made of, Shea smiling after the Thunder walk off the court in game 3. Oh, he's aura farming. It is what it is. I mean, that's going to look really cool in a couple games when the Thunder win the series 4-2. Actually, this is probably going 7 if I'm being honest. Yes, probably going to go 7. But this is a huge game 4 for the Thunder, man. I mean, you cannot go down 3-1. You cannot. I mean, sure, again, they're likely going to win game 5, and you go back to Denver 3-2, and then if you win that game, all right, okay, you're getting game 7 at home. But you really want to make this 2-2. Really want to make. I mean, again, you do not want to fall down against this Denver team 3-1. 2-2 is much more manageable. You get a 3-game set, and you have home court advantage in that 3-game series, right? Game 5 in OKC, game 6 back in Denver, game 7 back in OKC. I do think the Thunder win tonight, and I think this will look a lot like game 2. The Nuggets got their one here in this little, trip out to Denver. They got their game. I think the Thunder play a much better outing this time. It's an early game, which is odd, and I don't always love that because I feel like, I'll be honest, I feel like vibes are just weird in early games. This game's being played at what? 1:30 Mountain Time in Denver, Colorado. It's 12:30 out here on the West Coast. But I do think the Thunder handle him. I think Shea has a much better night. I need Chet Holmgren to just hit a couple threes, please. I need Lou Dort to be somewhat of a presence from beyond the 3-point line. And honestly, I haven't really said this yet this season, but I need Shea to be better. It's just the truth. SGA needs to be better. He's still great. He's still personally, I think, the most fun player to watch in the league. And you can say, oh, his free throws. Just the way that guy shoots the mid-range and the way he play makes is just, it's phenomenal to watch. But we need SGA to be better tonight. I need SGA to score at least 30. We need again, this guy averages 35 points in the regular season. You can't be averaging 18 in a game like that, right? Again, game 2 was what we knew we can get out the Thunder every given night. And after that game 2, I was ready to crown him. I'm going to be honest. I know the series was tied 1-1, but watching how the Thunder dominated Denver in that game 2, I was like, all right, game 1 was a fluke, right? They choked it in the end. Aaron Gordon hits a big 3 like he did yesterday, or 2 days ago in game 3, but I was ready to say, okay, game 1 was a fluke. Thunder probably rolled them the rest of the way. Well, clutch time minutes happen again for Denver. I do want to point out, though, again, you look at OKC's game in game 3. A very flawed game, let's just be honest, right? Lou Dort's a non-factor offensively. Chet, for the most part, is a non-factor offensively. Yeah, Chet had his moments inside, but from the 3-point line where the Thunder want him to be great, he's a non-factor. Hartenstein couldn't find anything to hit the bottom of the net. Jada was really good. I'm going to give him all the credit in the world, 32 points for Jalen Williams. But your MVP in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, it's not like he was a non-factor, but he did not have nearly his best night. And yet the Thunder were an Aaron Gordon missed shot again away from just winning the game in regulation. So it does show for OKC, okay, if they can just put together a typical OKC game that we've been accustomed to watching throughout the course of the season, they should win this game pretty handedly. And that's the reason why they're still 6.5-point favorites. because they know, the books know, and we all know how good OKC is, and we know how poorly they played at times in Game 3 and in Game 1, more so Game 3, and they arguably should have won. And if they played a better overtime period, who knows? But as soon as that game went in overtime, you knew, right? For the most part. As soon as the Nuggets hit that first shot in OT, you're like, all right, well, here comes the wizardry, here comes the witchcraft. They're going to find ways, and everything they shoot's a magnet ball. It is what it is. OKC just needs to be better, and I think they're going to in this spot. I'll take them to cover the 6.5 points. I'm going to take them to win the game outright as well. OKC should get it done in Denver. Going back to Oklahoma City, all nutted up at 2 games apiece. Again, you just got to think about this in the grand scheme of things. OKC is still a team we expect to potentially, and I think still my favorite to win the NBA Finals. This is a make or break game for them. Yes, again, you're not eliminated with the loss, but you feel like you're close to the edge. Obviously, you are if you lose this game and go down 3-1. So I'm taking Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Oklahoma City Thunder. If Shai can just have a much better night and J-Dub can produce like he did in game number 3, I think the Thunder are going to be absolutely fine. We know what the Nuggets are going to bring. That's a typical Nuggets game. The problem in that was the Thunder just didn't step up to the plate and play their own game. They've already seen what Denver offers, and they should be fine adjusting to it. I'm taking the Oklahoma City Thunder to win on the road in game number 4, and again, go back to OKC, all knotted up at 2 games apiece. Let's go into our second game of the day, Indiana Pacers, Cleveland Cavaliers. We're not switching seats with Indiana. They lose game 3, that's fine. I was hoping for a sweep, it is what it is. I will settle for 5 or 6. Again, my original prediction in this series was Indiana in 6. We might have to revert back to that. I think they're getting game 4 tonight, though. Right? Cleveland got everyone back in game number 4, right? Garland, Mobley, and Hunter. Oh, they're all questionable for the game. Sham said, maybe like 5-6 hours before the game, okay, they're all planning to play. And then we get a report, they're game time decisions. It's just gamesmanship out of Cleveland. It is what it is. That's fine. They get game 3. Okay. For one, I'm not going to blame the loss on officiating, right? Cleveland was going to win that game regardless. I will say the officiating was absolutely horrible in that game. The double tech on Mathurin and whatnot. Guys, by the way, the announcers were glazing the hell out of Cleveland the entire game. But they call it double tech, a meaningless double tech, a soft double tech, and the announcers start glazing and say, that's a great call by these officials. Anyways, I will say that the Cavaliers do get the benefit of the doubt on every single call. I'm just going to be honest. They just do. It's really weird. Donovan Mitchell, obviously, you're going to see that big layup that he hit at the beginning of the game. That was excellent. I'm not going to hate that. Will continue to say Donovan Mitchell has one of the best whistles in all the league. He just does. It's weird. He's had a better whistle this postseason than Jimmy Butler, let's just be honest. Butler has been a non-factor at points in games this offseason, this postseason. But anyways, Indiana, just that second quarter killed them. It just did. They got off to an ice cold start to start the game. They're down like 12-2. Miles Turner scores their first 8 points. By the way, he gets injured in the third quarter of that game. He's not in the injury report. I assume Miles Turner is a full go. I'm not concerned there. But anyways, Miles Turner scores all their points in the first quarter, essentially the first half of the first quarter. The Pacers come storming back, tied the game to close the half. I think it was Ben Shepherd, to close the first quarter. Ben Shepherd hits a big 3 as time's basically expiring to close the first quarter. Cleveland already blows a 15-point lead, and you're thinking, okay, Indiana's at home. They got the crowd. Let's go. They're going to win this game. Second quarter was absolutely atrocious. They got outscored 34-13. No one could shoot the ball in Indiana. And honestly, a big factor in that is Tyrese Halliburton. Okay, Halliburton, after hit the game-winning shot in Game 2, was a non-factor in Game 3. And I mean a total non-factor. 2 for 8 from the field, 30 minutes, over 1 from the three-point line, 4 points, and 5 assists. He needs to be better. It got so bad to the point where TJ McConnell's playing big minutes in the fourth quarter, where Indiana got their closest in the fourth. They were down 12 points. TJ McConnell forced an illegal screen on Dean Wade. He scored back-to-back possessions and whatnot, passed it off to, I believe, Mathurin, got the lead to 12. TJ McConnell's hyping up the crowd. Halliburton stays on the bench for that next Indiana run because Carlisle decides, all right, we're riding with the hot hand to TJ McConnell. Obviously, the Cavs continued to pull away in that fourth quarter. Again, the closest it got was 12, and eventually the Cavaliers won the game by 22 points. But we need Tyrese to be better. Tyrese can't do that again, and I think he will be better this time around. But again, that's when I look at that second quarter and say, okay, that's where they lost the game, obviously. Because they went down by 21 points. I mean, once that happens, what is the rest of the game? third quarter competitive, but again, Indiana kind of, trying to stay in the game. They're down like 18 going to the fourth quarter. They make their little push, but obviously Cleveland is too good to allow that to happen again, right? And they're not going to pull a Boston and drop it and, lose a 20-point lead. Let's just be honest. And, shout out to Boston yesterday. They actually kept their 20-point lead. So I give the Green Gooner and Jason Tatum and Joe Mazzulla and whatnot a lot of credit. Good for the Celtics. Knicks in 6. I don't know. I'm starting to lean Celtics in 7 now. I'm not going to lie. The cat injury and I don't know how that's going to go. Boston played historically bad, and New York barely won both those games. I don't know. I think the Pacers win tonight, and here's why. I don't think they're this poor shooting-wise. Pascal Siakam was bad in the first quarter, much better as the game went on. We need him to play a full 4 quarters tonight, and we just need the Pacers to shoot better. It's that simple. 9 for 30 from the three-point line is just not going to cut it. Yeah, they actually shot a better percentage than Cleveland, but the thing is the Cavs shoot 53 pointers a game. So, yeah, Indiana just needs to shoot the rock better. Looking at you, Tyrese Halliburton. Obi Toppin went 0 for 4 from the three-point line. Mathurin 3 for 8. Actually, Mathurin put a great game. 23 minutes, led Indiana in scoring. Pascal needs to be better from the three-point line. Nesmith 1 for 4. Miles Turner 1 for 2. Nembhard 2 for 4. Again, they just need to shoot the ball at a better clip. It's that simple. I mean, I say this all the time with Indiana. I can break down the X's and O's. I can tell you, okay, again, we want to get that switch for Tyrese Halliburton. I don't think Darius Garland's as agile on the court right now. I don't even think he's playing his best ball. I didn't really have a good game number 3. Again, just everyone around him was spectacular. Mitch, Strus, right? I mean, those guys alone basically won the game for Cleveland. Jared Allen, obviously, game changer down low. He's one of the best bigs in all of the NBA for a reason, right? One of the most underappreciated guys as well. I mean, again, Cleveland's got their 4 stars, plus Max Strus is very good as well, but Garland, Mitchell, and Mobley all made the All-Star team, and Jared Allen, who's been great and phenomenal this year, doesn't get the nod, obviously. And sure, again, they're not going to take 4 Cavaliers players, but Jared Allen, again, is deserving of some sort of recognition, and he played a great game number 3. But my thing is, again, I think the Pacers are going, and I can break down all these X's and O's. I can talk about matchups and the matchup they want to have in terms of Halliburton if he's on his game. Ultimately, this comes down to how well the Pacers shoot. It just, there's no other way about it. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I know Cleveland's going to score. And at the same time, this comes down to how well Cleveland shoots as well. It's just, again, this is how a Cavaliers-Pacers series goes this year. It's how these two teams play. They both run. They're great. Both great offenses. They're both great shooting teams. Whoever hits at the higher clip from the three-point line is going to win. That's going to determine this basketball game. Yeah, Mitchell's going to drive. Pascal Siakam's going to drive as well. Tyrese Halliburton too. And there will be points scored inside in this basketball game. The bench units will come in, right? Cleveland's playing DeAndre Hunter. They're playing Sam Merrill. They played Ty Jerome. They played Dean Wade. Indiana's going to have their fair share of guys off the bench as well, right? With the Mathurin, with the McConnell, Thomas Bryant, Obi Toppin, Ben Shepherd. These guys are going to play as well, fair. But ultimately, it's going to come down to the starting lineups, and it's going to come down to who can. It's so hard to say. Who can hit their threes? Whoever can. My goodness, English is hard sometimes. Whoever can hit their threes at a better rate. So again, it starts with Halliburton. It really does. And he's been the key to their success all year long. When the Pacers were in the weeds back in December and November, Halliburton was still injured. And he wasn't scoring. And sure, he's still getting assists. But Halliburton was not on his best game. He has been at his best game recently, obviously. And game 3, though, was just straight up atrocious. There's no other way to put it. He needs to be better. And I think, again, that responsibility, Halliburton knows he's the face of the franchise. He's on his way to becoming the greatest Indiana Pacers player of all time. And a finals run this year will solidify that. I'm just going to be honest. He knows the spot here. Indiana can take a commanding 3-1 lead. If you lose this game, sure, it's still tied, but you give home court advantage right back to Cleveland in game number 5 in Cleveland. So go find a way to win this game. It's at home, and Vegas is still disrespecting them. I don't care the 3 guys are back for the Cavaliers. The Pacers, if they play their best game, they will go out there, they will outrun Cleveland, and they will outshoot them in this basketball game. If they can just put somewhat of a lid on Donovan Mitchell, they will easily win this game. That's, again, easier said than done, though. Just limit what Donovan does. Take those 45 points. I know he played a lot of garbage time minutes, oddly enough, but take those 45 points, and if we can get that to 30, Indiana should win. I'm taking the Pacers at home. I don't think they get swept in their 2 games at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse. That playoff crowd's still electric in Indiana, and I think the Pacer faithful does pump them up enough to win this game 4 at home before going back to Cleveland for game number 5. So folks, thank y'all for watching our NBA best bets and predictions here for May 11th. If you have not yet though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. We'll be back tomorrow for more daily NBA best bets and our MLB best bets as well. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.